by practicing and spreading spiritual awareness. She has been working on implementations of self-awareness training programs as expounded by Brahma Kumari's self-management systems. And she has been also invited by and also conducted such programs for various industrial groups across India. She's conducted numerous self-managing leadership courses for high-ranking executives and management staff, demonstrating how a spiritual involvement could effectively support and tune with modern management philosophy and today's jet world. If you look at Sapna's sister, her simplicity, her humility, the clarity that she has, and her imbibing of spiritual practices, virtues, and values, it is no coincidence that people love to listen to her, listen to her discourses and her commentaries. She has, as a result, been chosen to represent the organization for conferences and seminars across the world. She has represented the organization at such conferences to practically and simply explain how easily spiritual values can be applied in day-to-day lives. She conducts programs on many subjects. So to name a few, there would be meditations, stress management, behavior management, management of sleep, positive thinking, positive and effective parenting, from fear to love. And these are just to name a few. Since about 10 years, Sister Sapna has been serving in China and has traveled to various cities in the country to conduct workshops and seminars. And she has been well received by students, teachers, managements, executives, government officials, to name a few different communities. Today, she is going to share her learnings and experiences on who is Brahma Baba. Who was he in the corporeal form? And who is he in the incorporeal form? The topic is Brahma Baba from corporeal to incorporeal. Also, I personally invite Sister Sapna to share her experiences of her own journey in spirituality and her experiences in China. So very warm welcome, Sister Sapna. Over to you.
Thank you, Vinesh. Thank you for introducing elaborately. And it's my honor and pleasure to be present here today in front of all of you to share on such a beautiful, important, and profound topic. I would say this is the foundation of our journey, which all of us are pursuing. This spiritual journey, because when we say this name, Brahma Baba, that role model comes in front of us. Whom God Himself, Shiv Baba Himself, descends and meets His children, and actually through whom God Himself is introducing Himself. So today in my journey, what I experience and how I relate with Brahma Baba on this spiritual journey and sharing some insights because it is we all listen to Baba's Murli, we all listen to Baba's Srimad, and all of us. You know, one thing is very interesting. Each one of us, when we are listening to Baba, when we are looking at Baba, we have some feelings, we have some insights, we have some reflections. There is something which is emerging from the subconscious also that was stored in the intellect. Voice is not clear. Am I audible now? Now it's okay. So when we are talking about this Brahma Baba, to understand also, when we say who is Brahma Baba, it's not just a name. It's actually the manifestation of God in person, personification of God Himself coming on this earth. After we souls calling out to Him for such a long time, half a cycle, we've been calling out God with different names. And finally, when He comes, how He manifests in front of His children. And there is a purpose of His coming. The purpose is to remind His children to go back to their originality, remind His children of their home, their original home, their original values and virtues, which were lost during this journey. So, of course, every quality, because originally, when we say that we are children of God, so originally every soul has all those qualities which God has. The only difference is that He is ever stable in that form. And we are coming into this cycle of life and death. We are coming into this cycle of birth after birth and coming into connections, relations, and the soul experiences so many different things in various births. We get exposure to different kinds of environment, education, company of other souls, relations. So all those things are creating some layers on the subconscious of the souls. And eventually we know where we reach by the end of this Iron Age, by the end of Kali Yuga, where we are when Baba comes. So at present, in that stage, when he has to descend, he has to set an example, a perfect example. Spirituality means the originality. I would say spirituality is equal to originality of the soul. And spirituality or the originality of the soul should be presented in such a way which the human soul feels, yes, I can achieve that once again. where we can feel the confidence. And for that, he had chosen this instrument. It was, we can't say ordinary, but special among the ordinary. But one of the ordinary people, the souls of the world at that time, with whom we can relate. Each and every human being, each and every human soul of that time can relate. Yes, if he can do, I can also do. And it was a journey of transformation. When we say from corporeal to incorporeal, so it's a step-by-step journey of transformation from that ordinary corporeal human being, means the soul as a being, in relation to this world around, the Kali world, from that status towards that stage of perfection that Baba achieved, finally becoming like Father, like Shiva. So through that journey, actually, you see, step by step, Baba has shown how Brahma Baba has achieved that stage. And if you see Brahma Baba's life, there was no role model in front of him. But we all have this perfect role model, and after that we have Dadis as well. So when we see this role model, this spiritual journey, every footstep becomes easier because we just have to follow the footsteps of Brahma Baba in achieving that stage, because we know this is the way. So the first lesson which Baba had given, that was of soul consciousness. And through Brahma Baba, when we listen to Dadis, we listen to experiences of those who have seen Brahma Baba, and also we have seen those who have taken sustenance from the Brahma Baba. We have seen those examples who have actually imbibed everything what Brahma Baba has demonstrated through his actions, through his Karma Yogi stage. Means spirituality in action. Raj Yoga, which we are studying, that practical aspect of Raj Yoga in day-to-day life. So it was made so simple when it is performed through that role model in day-to-day life, in different kinds of situations, because it's all, this drama is so accurate, you know. Like sometimes Baba says that I face the Maya first before it comes to the children. I have to face it first. It's only because he has to become an example in front of us, because he has to demonstrate through his responses in different situations that how should that form of Maya be dealt with. So through his actions, Baba demonstrated that. So in which we can, I have taken out a few points as an essence of that journey of becoming a Vyakt from corporeal to incorporeal. So the very first point, first and the last lesson Baba says is soul conscious vision and drishti. So it's not only about the soul conscious the thoughts that I am a soul, but the soul conscious vision. And soul conscious vision is not only that I am a soul and you are a soul. It's very practical, because when I see a soul, because let us reflect on it and think about it, that how do I implement this point when Baba, almost every day in the morning, actually every day, Baba is reminding us that you consider yourself as a soul and remember Baba. So when Baba is reminding me, what is the practical way of having that soul conscious vision and drishti? This drishti is not only that I create this vision that I am a shining star and you are a shining star. No, that is very, I would say, very first level, very beginner's level when we create that kind of just image. So it's not only about that, but practically going beyond the all forms of body consciousness. Name, form, caste, color, nationality, religion, culture. When I see someone, can I see through all these barriers and I just see my soul brother? Can I see that way? So when I see in that way, that is when I am having a pure vision. Because when we say purity, purity is the foundation of this Brahman life, and we can achieve purity, the stage of complete purity, only with this completely soul conscious vision and drishti towards each and every one whoever comes in my contact, and seeing that soul beyond the layers of different sanskars that soul has acquired during his journey of so many lives. So seeing through all that and just see the original soul, the original shining star, and believing that, yes, every soul is pure. So when I completely believe that, then only it becomes practical. So then when we remember the last three words which Baba has given us before leaving its corporeal medium at the time of becoming Kavya. Actually, that is the essence. And it's a kind of reminder, or we can say it's a reflection of Baba's own efforts throughout his spiritual journey. What kind of incognito effort that soul was making in order to achieve that stage of being soul conscious completely, in order to achieve that stage of being beyond the corporeal consciousness, beyond the body consciousness. So he gave the essence in these three words: incorporeal, wiseless, and egoless. If we just reflect on this, so we can actually relate very much practically when he says incorporeal, simply beyond the corporeal being, the corporeal consciousness. So when we meet each other, when we see each other, sometimes I need to really check. We need to talk to ourselves. When I see you, what do I see first? That's fine that we need to connect with each other, we need to know each other's name, we need to sometimes communicate in that way also. But that is coming first, or which one is first and which one is secondary? When I meet someone, when I see you, what do I see first? I see the soul first, the incorporeal being, or first I see the name and the form or any kind of recognition or identity of that personality, corporeal personality. What do I see first? So actually, this is a reminder when we remember these three words which Brahma Baba has said. It's a reminder for us for self-checking. And then viceless, completely viceless. In Avyak Murlis also Baba has said that, but in Sakar Murlis Baba is mostly talking about Nirvikari, completely viceless, reminding us when Baba says that this is, you have to become deities from Brahmins. In Avyak Murlis later, Baba is talking about Farishta, angelic stage, more. But usually Baba says from Brahman, you have to become deities. So that's your aim. And when we define deities, that is completely viceless. So when we are saying completely viceless, I need to really check my heart, ask myself, do I have really any kind of negative feeling, grudges, any hard feelings, any hurt feelings for anyone? Because when we're saying completely viceless, this one word includes all the dharna points of all the murlis. And Sakar murlis have given those points of dharnas very, like at a very gross level, when you see the whole journey of the murlis from the beginning, from the Sakar to Abhyakt, you will see first the gross level and then the subtle level. And then egoless. So we really need to churn on these things. Because when Baba says that you have to grind your own ingredients, then only you will have that intoxication feeling. So this is very important. To let go of all the identities and the labels that I have acquired, especially in the present life, in the present world. Past births we don't remember, but especially in this birth, the kind of labels, identities, the kind of recognitions, or how I identify myself, how people have been labeling me, all those things I have to simply let go. That is the stage of being egoless. And the checking point for that is how stable I am in different situations, in the face of ups and downs, in the face of upheavals, how stable I am. So when we see the life of Brahma Baba, we really feel, I think all of us feel that we have seen Baba. Even those, most of us, I think, those who are online are Avyakt after Baba became Avyakt, the Avyakt creation of Baba. And I think few weeks ago, Baba has mentioned in one of the Avyakt movies that Avyakt creation and Sakar creation, Baba has given that importance of both. And Baba said that Avyakt creation, because Avyakt is more subtle. So more subtle means faster. The efforts also should be faster. So we can understand at a subtle level and we can relate very well with that effort if we really practice that. Practicing bodiless while being in body. One is the soul conscious practice. And another thing is practicing bodiless while being in body. Means I am performing all the actions. I'm not leaving anything. I'm coming into connections and relations with other souls as well. But while doing everything, because spirituality is not separate from my day-to-day routine, my work, or my relations, my family. That is what Baba is teaching us. That is what we will carry with us in the form of sanskars. So This is what Baba has demonstrated throughout the day. Even if doing the ordinary task, as the Adis always mention about Baba, that means we don't even see Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba separate, because once we were asking Ravi Janaki that when you say Baba, so which Baba you remember, Brahma Baba or Shiv Baba? Like sisters were sitting with Dadi and asking that. And Dadi said, we never saw both of them separate. We always see them together. So when we say Baba, both are together. And that is what Shiv Baba has said. And that is where this consciousness comes. While being in the body, like this is Brahma Baba's practice, while being in body, practicing bodiless. I am in the body, but I am not the body. Shiv Baba has demonstrated that actually through Brahma Baba, that I take this body, but I am not affected or influenced by anything of this body or its connections. So he is giving us a practical message to do that, to become that. So while seeing Brahma Baba, like Dadi says that we see Shiv Baba always with Brahma Baba. So same way when I see myself, I am in the body just like a guest. I am here in this world as a guest. Anytime could be the last moment, anytime could be the time to leave. So I'm here while I'm here, but at the same time I'm ready with this awareness that this is not permanent. So then comes a completely surrendered intellect, which is very important on this journey of becoming aware, becoming incorporeal. Because I have to really surrender that consciousness of the old world, consciousness of the old sanskars, the influence of my old habits, my old personality, and influence of anything of the outside world will be affecting me until I am carrying that any of the old sanskar. So for that, everything comes into action through the intellect. So it's about surrendering the intellect, surrendering anything else external, which is related with me, it's still easier. But this surrender of intellect, my ideas, my opinions, I and my, that consciousness, it's a very subtle effort to really surrender that consciousness. In both the situations, when you have done something really good, even if you have done that on the basis of Srimad, but somewhere inside that conscious that, see, I have done this, I was able to do this, I was able to understand the Srimad correctly. Even that subtle ego, even that consciousness of I, that I have done this, or I am doing this, or this is my idea, my intelligence. So complete surrender of that intellect that Baba is doing through me. I'm just an instrument. So that consciousness, because when we say becoming like Father, because journey of becoming incorporeal from corporeal is the journey of achieving that stage of becoming Bapsaman, of becoming like the Father, like Shiv Baba. So, which means I have to completely merge my personality, which Baba has done, Brahma Baba has done. So, merging my personality means no consciousness, no awareness of I and my. And it really needs that work to be done inside. Because this is the most sensitive gate from where Maya enters. person. Taking credit for something, even in my heart. Okay, I'm not taking that credit in front of anyone. I'm not taking that credit on the stage. But inside, somewhere, attachment to my own intelligence. So going beyond that, only Baba is doing. So that awareness is very important. Then the next thing is awareness of nothing new. I'm just an observer, because when I have to merge my own personality and I have to go beyond all these corporeal things, it can be political things happening, it can be COVID-19, it can be anything which the whole world is talking about at the moment. But we, Baba's children, just stay detached. So we have to check, am I getting involved somewhere in those political discussions? Am I somewhere getting involved in creating opinions about different personalities of the world? Who is doing what? Am I creating any kind of opinions which is influenced by the atmosphere? No. Because these things will keep on increasing. All these upheavals will keep on increasing. It's already, you can see, so much happening in the world. So with Brahma Baba's example, we have seen, and we should be actually, that's why when Dadis are sharing those stories, little incidents, that when this situation comes, then how Baba helps, or when Baba was in Sakar, some problem came and how Baba was handling, and it's like nothing new. And also, there are two things in that. One is being a detached observer, I see that nothing is new. And second thing is, being an instrument, I have a faith that he is the owner. Like we hear about the story, always, all of us have heard about that story, that when during the beggary part, that money order came when there was nothing in the kitchen for lunch. They didn't have anything left in the groceries to cook. So here, one thing is that having this faith that Baba will take care. And finally, it happened that at the right time, Baba helps through someone. But it's not about the result. It's not about that money order. It's not about that. But it's about that period from the moment when this message comes that there is nothing left in the kitchen until the moment money order comes. During that period, what is the consciousness of Brahma? That is actually the effort, what we need to follow. Completely detached, having that complete faith in the one. It's not that when it comes, and that is not the example to be given. Example is of the consciousness of the stage of the thought system of Brahma Baba during that period. That is a learning for all of us. Detached and having that faith. And because of that, he was able to create that hope in the hopeless, igniting that hope. The souls who have become completely hopeless, they don't see any hope. But still, bringing that soul back to that enthusiasm and zeal and that stage of joy and happiness once again. It is possible only when you are yourself in that stage of complete detachment. You are not influenced by anything external. And that we have seen from Baba, many souls, they experience that and they share that experience, that as soon as we used to go in front of Baba, we used to forget our problems. And even if we remember that problem, we would feel that it's not a big deal. You know, his personality is influencing the souls. This is such a wonderful thing when I myself I am in that consciousness of complete faith and complete surrender. Then, because I am hopeful, I don't lose hope in any situation. So this is also a checking point of being soul conscious, being in that journey where I have reached of becoming incorporeal. How much hope I can sustain in my awareness, in my consciousness. Also important, being accurate and alert, because we don't know the time duration. We don't know until when I have to make this effort. Like sometimes Baba says that don't be tired on this journey. Because the new dawn is about to come. So I keep the same pace all the time. Not that one day I have a lot of enthusiasm and after a few days I feel like, okay, take a leave from the conference age and just go for a holiday in Iron Age for a few days and then come back again. No, I have to be always accurate and alert. There is no holiday in Sangam Yuga. No holiday. And I should not feel tired of that. I can keep up with that enthusiasm, zeal, only when I have that aim in my mind, that target in my mind. So one thing which I personally feel and I would like to just share with all of you. So this is, sometimes some souls I have seen, they have a very good interest for Avyak movies, but not much for Sakar movies. Maybe some of you also have that feeling, but I was just thinking about it and I always have this very sincere feeling about this, that Brahma Baba achieved that stage of becoming incorporeal, of becoming avyakt, complete, perfect, through the Sakar Murlis. So actually both Sakar Murlis and Avyakt Murlis have their own importance in this journey. You can see the reflection of effort at the very gross level, from a very beginner's level, when Brahma Baba started, when Shiv Baba, through Brahma Baba, has started giving the murlis, through the Sakar murlis. So, yes, but that is also fine because we are the Avyakt creation. Maybe for a beginning, we love Avyakt murlis more because it's more refined. But importance of Sakar murli is equally significant in that journey of becoming Avyakt. So sometimes you can start with Avyakt, but then slowly go to the Sakar, journey of Sakar Murlis. You will find really interesting as you move forward on this journey, that Sakar Murlis are giving many, many different dimensions of practical life. So I will not elaborate on this point more right now, but maybe we can churn on this later on at your own level or in the group discussions. And another thing which I personally feel, the science behind disciplines and maryadas given by Baba. Because this is also important to understand. Sometimes some souls, they feel it is like, disciplines, this word, codes of conducts, disciplines, maryadas. They feel like it's kind of, we love freedom. We want to be just free. We want to, yes, we love Gyan. We love to implement that also, but in our own way, at our own time. Whenever I find it easy, whenever I feel comfortable, why I have to get up every day, morning, early. And until I realize how important it is for the soul to achieve that stage, it is difficult. Just take one thing of waking up early morning in the Amrit Vela. If you take just one thing also. For some souls, it's really hard. Some of them, they are trying, but they don't succeed every day. And some of them, they are getting up every day. I'm just taking one of the disciplines. Some of them, they are getting up every day, but every day there is a struggle before waking up. Every day, the Maya is still creating that kind of confusion, difficulty. Because until we understand really, this is a science, this is the way to achieve. I want to share with you honestly, coming to my journey. I have done few days like that in the past. I just had this thought maybe that let me do it in my own way. Especially Amrit Vela, I never missed that way, but for Numasham, I just had the idea that why I have to do specifically at that time. Let me try whenever I feel like. It was just 2-3 days, I tried that way, Numasham, and I had something else also, but still I could read Murli at a specific time. I never missed the Murli, but just thinking that okay, I can read it later. I'm telling you with my own experience. After experimenting everything, I conclude that this morning class, Amrit Vela, morning class, Numasham, whatever is decided by Baba, that is the best way, best discipline actually. There cannot be any other way which can be suitable and which we can sustain for a long time. Cannot be sustainable. Only this way is sustainable, which can lead us to the final stage of perfection. Very basic things. And there are other maryadas also. There are many things actually, because this itself is a very vast topic if we talk about the disciplines, maryadas, and spiritual lifestyle what Baba has given to us. And very important thing we have seen when we hear about Baba's story in the last few months, especially before becoming a Vyakti. Baba was loving those moments of solitude and silence more and more. The time of silence was increasing. Before also it was there, because when we hear Baba's story that he would always wake up 2 o'clock or maybe before that sometimes, when he had that feeling that some souls are calling out, some bhagats, some devotees are calling out. So he would just get up in the midnight also and giving Sakash to the souls. But for himself, he would always say that is the only time I get for myself. This whole day, Shiv Baba is using this instrument for so much other seva, to talk to the children, to sustain the children, giving replies to their letters. There's so many things. And all of us also can relate that very well. So, really making time for silence, and that will happen when I love being in that silence and solitude. Seva is important, everything is important. When we say solitude, it's not exactly connecting with Baba only, it's also connecting with myself. In silence, I'm just observing myself, what is going on inside. So that connection is very important. So we can experience, reflect on all these things. I'm not sure. First, we can take some questions if you have. So we can continue with some meditation first. Or anyone would like to ask some questions?
So we can take some sharings and question answers. And we'd also invite if you can share some of your experience back in China. I'm sure that's one place which has its own challenges and how Baba stays supported. So we would love to hear some experiences from you from there as well.
Okay, sure. But before that, we can take up some questions relating to today's topic if somebody has any.
Yes. So those who wish to ask questions can raise your hand so that we can unmute you, or you can put in question on the chat box.
Beyond questions.
Everybody's experiencing the Avyakt form.
Looks like everyone is in the incorporeal home.
There's a question which has come from Harpreet Ben, and the question she's asked is, what is the evening prayer? Sister, you mean
Numasham.
or you mentioned Navamata?
Numasham, I think.
Yeah.
I think she must be new in this journey. Yeah, Numasham means like Amrit Vela is the early morning hour, the time of nectar which Baba has given for spiritual experiences, which is early morning 4 to 4:45, the standard time that was given by Baba after Baba became Avyakt. Same way Baba has given the evening time for meditation, which is also very auspicious time. In all the centers in Madhuban, everywhere, wherever in the world you go, you will see 6:30 to 7:30, we have evening meditation time. That is also Baba once mentioned in the Murli, that also equally auspicious like Amrit Vela. So that is called Namasham. It's not a prayer, it's meditation wherein we connect with Baba. Morning time, usually we just sit for ourselves and we connect with Baba in silence, because that is a very silent time. It's a time of charging ourselves. And evening Namasham, of course we charge ourselves, but also we give Sakash vibration to the whole world at that time.
Om Shanti sister, we also have another question.
Yeah.
Where one soul is asking, what is the meaning of drishti?
Yeah. It has two meanings. One is drishti, is that it is through the eye contact, the exchange of energy between one soul and the other soul. That is also drishti. And another drishti is the vision I have for myself and for others, the vision. How I see, how I perceive the things, what is my attitude. Through that attitude, my drishti, my vision is created for others. So when we say soul conscious drishti, means in that awareness of being a soul, I am also a soul and you are also a soul. In that awareness, my attitude also becomes pure, my vision for others also becomes pure, and I perceive the things in a very positive way because I see the originality. So this is the meaning.
Thank you, sister.
Any other question?
Siddesh brother who has raised your hand. Siddesh, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Om Shanti sister.
Om Shanti.
Baba is telling Sthiti ko bodiless to soulless. How we can become Sthiti Achal Adol? Please tell me.
Achal Adol, immovable, unshakable stage if I want to create. Yes, it can only happen like we have discussed one point of Purusharth for Brahma Baba. Nothing new. When we remember this drama, and actually the point of drama is, and being firm on that drama is very important if you want to attain that stable stage, immovable, unshakable stage. Whatever is happening, especially the situations, the things that are happening which is not according to my wish. There are many scenes coming in the drama that is not according to my expectations or the way I wanted that to happen. In that phase, especially, we become unstable or sometimes shaking by the scenes of the drama. So practicing this point of nothing new makes it easier for us to put a full stop on anything what happened. And very interestingly, some people, they understand, yes, it's drama is accurate and drama repeats after 5,000 years, but still inside somewhere they have a wish to make for Baba. But they would say that, Baba, everything else is okay, but this particular scene should not be repeating again. I don't want, can you please delete this particular scene? But if you delete one scene, then it's a chain. It's every scene is connected with the previous one. So understanding drama accurately and believing strongly that everything that happened is beneficial. Everything means 100%. So when I have complete faith in this statement given by Baba, and you will be able to feel that then only you can achieve that stage of being unshakable and immovable. Achala.
Sister, we also have another question. As you shared, Baba means combine both Sakar and Shiv Baba. But earlier in Yagya, all used to remember only Shiv Baba. And Brahma Baba also used to remember Shiv Baba. So can you clarify?
Remembering, yeah, when we remember Baba, we have to remember Shiv Baba. But how do you come to know about Shiv Baba? How did Brahma Baba, Shiv Baba come and meet me? Through Brahma Baba, right? So it's like when you're going to meet somebody, you fix an appointment with somebody. For example, I'm going to take an appointment from some VIP and he says that, okay, you can come at this time and at my office. This is the address. So I have to remember the address also, not only the person, but I remember address as the address and I remember person as the person. So at this time of confluence age, this is the time Baba has given, this is the time when I meet my children, the time of confluence age, and Brahma Baba is my office. I meet through him. So I have to remember that also. Where will Baba meet me? How? Through whom? Through which medium Baba meets me? And through Brahma Baba, only Shiv Baba is speaking the Murli. It is through Brahma Baba only when Shiv Baba says that, I am Shiv Baba, I am your father. It is only through Brahma Baba he speaks that. So how can we forget Brahma Baba? But we don't consider Brahma Baba as God or as Guru or as Master, but as a medium. God, Father is only Shiv Baba. It's only through connection with Shiv Baba that I'm going to absolve my sins of so many births. And I take my inheritance. Not Brahma Baba is not giving me the inheritance. It is through Brahma Baba, Shiv Baba is giving me the inheritance. So it can't be separated. That's why in some of these Sakar Mullis, Baba says that you cannot have a direct connection with Shiv Baba. You have to regard, keep a regard and respect for Brahma Baba as a medium.
We also have another question from Harpreet's sister. She's asking that I have learned in my lesson that in the next cycle, will the drama repeat again?
Yeah. You have learned the lesson. You will learn the lesson again. Because like we say that, just now I mentioned, I think that sometimes we feel that this scene, because I've already learned this, I have already imbibed this quality now, so I won't make this mistake again. So for now, I have learned it because the Gyan is immersed. The knowledge that was there in the soul, the originality is emerging through Baba's knowledge. The original sanskars of the soul are emerging. And it will remain immersed for at least half a cycle. But after that, slowly, other things are overpowering the soul. The atmosphere, when the downfall is happening, when the atmosphere of Maya begins, we come in body conscious. Again, then there is a shift from soul conscious to body conscious. That is where the downfall starts. Again, I make that mistake. But the beautiful thing, which is very subtle to be understood, while I was making that mistake, I had the awareness that this is not right. Something is wrong. You know, the soul who has achieved a higher stage in the past kalpa, in the last kalpa, the soul who has attained those values and virtues has that memory, memory of that perfection, memory of that goodness, memory of the virtues personified. So we have those memories in us. So that's why we again make effort. That is why we are here. So, but that mistake or something wrong that happened, through which I learned the lesson, that is also a process, and that is the way, I would say, or that incident is one of the ways through which I get this opportunity to recognize Baba and recognize knowledge. You know, all these mistakes, what we have made before coming into Gyan or in the beginning of the journey, also when we are in the process of understanding. This is the way. This is not in the way. This is the way of achieving perfection. Because when we do something, it's here. You know, Gyan is here. Knowledge is here. But when we perform, it's like, you know, technically you can relate it like that. You are learning to play some instrument, or you're learning to operate some instrument, like I learned this computer, phone, anything, which something which is new to me, I learned, and somebody is telling me, that is knowledge. Somebody is telling me, and the knowledge is stored here. I memorize step 1, step 2, step 3. But when I actually do that, like when you're learning to drive, when you actually do that, I don't think there is a single person who just first time sat in the car and just drove it all perfect, no mistake. No. Because that is the way. When we make a mistake, we know that, oh, now I know what Baba wanted to say in that movie. Now I know what is Maya. So we have to have that experience of Maya. But not the same form of Maya again and again should be deceiving me. That also I have to make sure. Is that clear?
Yes, sister. Thank you. Yes, anyone else has any question?
So I guess from the questions perspective, we're done with the questions. Don't see any more questions on the chat unless anybody else wants to unmute and ask. We can
Yes,
take
Om
one more
Shanti.
question. Yes, Sami, Ben, go ahead.
Yeah. So, Sapna, can you just make a brief, short explanation between Mansa Seva to Sakash? How can you differentiate these two words between? Because we always hear these words in Murlis.
Yeah. Actually, both are connected with each other, because Sakash is the result of Mansa Seva. For Mansa Seva, which is service through mind, the basic thing is the clear mind, clean intellect. The purity at a very subtle level, on the level of mind. So preparing your mind at that level is the first step of Mansa Seva. Like Baba said, once in the Murli also Baba said, and Gulzar Dadi often used to say that if you have even a trace of hatred or jealousy, even for a single soul in the whole world, that mind cannot do Mansa Seva. Because that garbage is there, even for one soul, but it is there in my heart. So Baba cannot use that instrument for Mansa Seva. So actually both are related. So once I make myself powerful, this is what I have understood, the meaning of Sakash. Baba has once mentioned in Avyakt Murli, it is like the searchlight, Baba said. Mansa Seva is like I create thoughts, pure thoughts, sometimes in general for the whole world, sometimes for specific. But when we say Sakash, it is specific, very specific. Because Baba has used this, defined this word as searchlight. Baba said like a focus light. Like when where which part of the world, which person, which soul, or particular group of souls you want to focus. So you create that awareness in your mind. With that memory and awareness, I focus the light which I'm receiving from Baba. This light includes all the virtues, powers, and what is specifically required. Because when it is about search, right, I would say that because I'm focusing on a particular place or a particular group, so what is actually needed by that soul, I will imbibe that. I feel myself as embodiment of that through that connection with Baba, and I send that Sakash focused like a searchlight.
Thank you, Sapna Bhai, for the answer.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
satisfied?
Yeah, clear.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Yeah.
There is a Chinese question. She
You
asked.
can read in Chinese first.
Okay, Om Shanti. 光想着父亲不行，必须与父亲连接上，罪恶才能够被消除，是吗？不是只是想着爸爸，罪恶就能够被消除。So only think about the father, cannot the things cannot be resolved, removed. So only have the connection, then can resolve the things. Not only thinking.
Yeah,
Is it right?
Later, yeah, I think first we need to understand this, yeah, because when we say remembrance, remembrance can be of many types. It can be sometimes like devotion, like in devotion, some people, they had their own deities whom they used to remember. So if I'm just remembering Baba, but I am not in soul conscious stage, because when we remember Baba, we connect only when I am in soul conscious form, because he is incorporeal. I also become incorporeal in that incorporeal awareness. Then I can connect with Baba to draw that energy and power from Baba. Otherwise, it's just we have love for Baba. That is one thing. But like sometimes Baba says that what is the proof of that love? Proof of that love is becoming like the one whom you love. Okay. Anything else?
One last question, sister. There's another question, are there any murlis of guidance on nature, plant, animal kingdoms, and soul cycles?
Baba has given a little bit idea, but not much, because Baba says that this is part of nature and nature is your creation. You are the creators. And it is seen even in Kali Yuga, even in Iron Age, we see some examples like that. Like I have seen one news about Tibet, where the monks are meditating, and even the tigers of that area, they just come whenever they are sitting in meditation, the monks, these tigers, they come and sit beside them and meditating. And surprisingly, all those tigers have become vegetarians. So there are examples even in Iron Age, even in Kali Yuga like that. And Baba has also told that when you become Satu Pradhan, then the whole world, this whole nature, 5 elements become Satu Pradhan. So because they don't meditate, so they are our creation. So that is why when we are responsible, responsibility is on the human soul. This is what we have understood from Baba's Murlis, because the level of intellect, the level of intelligence, what we have that privilege as a human soul. We can, and because of that, we can understand Baba, we can understand Gyan, and if we are understanding, if we have that privilege, so we have the responsibility also. Because of us, the whole world becomes impure when we go through that downfall. So when we imbibe all the virtues back again and we purify ourselves, the nature is also purified, and those souls also get liberation or liberation in life, or they also achieve, like 5 elements of nature also they achieve their Sato Pradhan stage according to our stage. So this is what Baba has explained. Other details Baba has not given, but for some things in different murlis, Baba has given the hints that these kind of violent animals, violent things are not there in the golden age. But that is also a result of us becoming completely non-violent, completely viceless, completely viceless.
Ongshan, you can ask her one more question.
Yes,
And
sister, let's
yes,
take just one question.
Okay,
Good.
thank you. From Chinese family, so I first read Chinese. Om Shanti. 现在家人去世了，他们没有来到爸爸身边，我们应该为他们做些什么？怎么样求得爸爸的帮助？现在清明了，我们为去世的先人应该做些什么？ Now family member have passed away. They didn't come to Baba. So what we can do for them and how to get Baba's help? And now is the Qingming festival in China. So how we should do for the ancestor means they are who have passed away, their family members.
I just would like to mention this Ancestors Day. They every year they have, just like we have in India. So where they remember their ancestors and they offer some food to them, like that. They go to the graveyard. So actually, when we say passed away, we understand spiritually that soul never dies. It's only the body. That form, that name and form is no more, but the soul is still there somewhere in the next life, in the next birth. So whatever we do, we don't remember them only as ancestors. Like according to your culture, you can, when we remember somebody, we remember their qualities, we appreciate their qualities, and if there was something good to learn from them, we take that. But spiritually, when we see that soul has already moved forward to the next journey in their next life, so in that way, we just wish the good for that soul wherever they are. They should be happy in their next life with their new family members, wherever they are. And because spiritually, whatever we think, it is a soul-to-soul connection. It's not a connection with the body. So even if that soul is very far in any other corner of the world, but the way you remember, what kind of feelings you remember with, you create pure feelings and good wishes for them, it will reach the soul. So we can just have those good wishes, pure feelings, but at the same time, detach yourself. When we involve too much, because we are remembering that name and form, then it is like pulling that soul back. So that becomes, it makes the life of the future journey of that soul a little difficult, because soul can feel that pull. So it should not be in that way. We just send out the good wishes and just like a farewell, happily giving that farewell to the soul. I think it's fine.
Rose sister, is that fine? Anything else on that?
She's translated.
Thank you. It's very good.
Thank you. Looking at the watch, Sapna Ben, can you take few minutes to share one incident in China, and then we can move on to meditation?
Okay. Actually, incident, there are so many. But right now, because they were talking about Sakash and all that, so I just remember one thing. When in the beginning of service of the local souls, the first big group, those who came to India from China, it was a huge, big group. And one of the souls was a child of 9 years old. And after going back, I could feel that they could experience that connection with Baba and that belief. Sometimes it's very difficult for them. It seems like according to their culture and according to the upbringing, it's difficult. But once the soul experiences, I could feel. What happened is one night I was sleeping and I received a call. It was like midnight, 12:30 sometime there. So I received a call from one of the family. That child actually asked his mother to call Didi. He said, they call me Didi. So they said he was in so much pain. And in that pain, you can understand a child of 9 years, I think 8 or 9 years old. He was having a stomach pain, severe stomach pain. Nothing was working. And he told his mother that please call Didi and tell her that talk to Baba because Baba listens to her more. She's more connected with Baba. So you tell her. And he has only been once to Madhuban at that time. They took that sustenance for 10 days. They were very new. And he said, you tell Didi. I'm just telling you the incident of so much belief when the soul experiences that please meditate for me and send me Baba's light. And I did that at midnight. I just sat in Baba's remembrance because it was such an innocent, you can say, wish or that prayer from that little child that I had to convey that to Baba. So I just sat with Baba and I asked Baba, sending Sakash to the child, just a few minutes. And then after around half an hour, maybe less than that, his mother called me and told me that he's sleeping nicely now. No more pain. So there are so many things like that because I feel where externally, if you see, according to the culture, education, atmosphere, things might seem to be very difficult, but at the spiritual level, when we see at the level of vibration, souls can catch. Many of them are present here. Right now, there's no time to share, but each one of them have this experience on this journey of those vibrations, how they catch. Even in the beginning, when I was not knowing the language much. So even without language, when they were coming and experiencing that love, that kindness, that energy, positive vibes, and they were still coming without understanding anything also. So that was magic of Baba's love and those positive vibes, I could say.
Wonderful example, sister. As Baba says, in Satyog, there will be no language, only sign language. And I think that's a wonderful example that you quoted for each one of us to take back and experience. So thank you so much, sister, for that. And we invite you to take a commentary-based meditation.
Yeah, sure. Om Shanti. I sit in this silence, being in the awareness of my true self. I the child of Supreme. I, the fortunate one, the chosen one, who has the opportunity to meet Baba, to listen to him, to receive his directions for uplifting myself. He is there to guide me at every step. My heart filled with gratitude and love for Baba. And this divine love is my canopy of protection. This divine love is also my inspiration. This divine love is my guide and mentor. Which is taking me forward on this beautiful spiritual journey. I look at Baba receiving Baba's drishti. Drishti of Incorporeal. Through this angelic medium. This drishti reminds me of my original self. Looking at Baba, is like a mirror. It shows me my reflection, the reflection of my inner being, my strengths and weaknesses. And at the same time, it gives me strength to let go of the weaknesses. It empowers me. generating a new energy, zeal, enthusiasm. Brings back my self-confidence and love for myself. Because now I see myself the way Baba looks at me. It's such an elevated vision which takes me beyond the trivial little matters of this world. Takes me beyond the limitations of this physical world. When I am in front of Baba, I'm merged in that divine love and wisdom. I'm becoming elevated. Pure, clean, and clear. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister, for taking us through this journey of experiencing corporal and incorporeal Baba. Time is the only constraint, and we look forward to see you many more times going forward. So saying thank you is going to be something which we will not want to do it, to be honest, because that's going to be expressing in a very small word, So we are grateful. It's with gratitude that we would want to look at seeing you soon with much more experiences from the world that you served. Thank you so much, Didi, once again. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister, and thank you, everyone, for joining in and being there, because it's always with everyone that, that feeling of sharing. And I always feel that when we share, it's also for our own self. So it's really beautiful to be in this gathering, virtual gathering. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone who's joining, and we shall see you soon, Didi, back.
Sure.
Shanti.